Hi everyone, it's Rosalie Didana. Welcome back to Align and Thrive. Live your truth. Today we're going to talk about the quantum leap. Um, we're going to talk about what it is and what it is not. And knowing that a quantum leap is not about hustling and working harder and cramming as much as you can in a short amount of time. It's about shifting your frequency to become the embodied version of you who already has and holds the desire that you're seeking. Um, so let's start with what a quantum leap isn't, right? It's not pushing, it's not performing or proving yourself. It's not forcing results to happen or rushing. And, it's the opposite of that hustle culture, right? You're not coming from lack or urgency, and instead you're embodied in your truth. And you can't bypass or get past the inner work that goes along with this to speed this up. And I think this is where people get frustrated or confused or think, why isn't this happening? Because they want some type of shortcut. They want some type of quick fix, instant gratification to bypass whatever inner work that they have to look at and reflect on within themselves. And there's still that inner resistance that they haven't fully released and let go of. So, again, fast action without the alignment in your frequency and the embodied truth of who you are doesn't create the breakthrough, doesn't create the miracles, doesn't create the quantum leap, right? It just creates burnout, which is the opposite of what we want. Um, so, along those lines, let's talk about what a quantum leap is. It's the conscious decision to shift into a new identity, a new energetic identity before external results or desires show up in your physical realm in your life. Um, so when we talk about alignment, on all these episodes and the work that I do, aligning with your soul, when you quantum leap or when you align, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your actions, and have full integration. Um, with that next version of yourself, then that is what creates the quantum leap, right? That that is what allows you to step into it. Um, and again, the shift happens on the inside first, so it might not look like you're really doing much, but then eventually your external reality will catch up to your frequency, will reflect the frequency that you're holding. Um, so again, it's not by rushing, it's by becoming who you're here to be and who you are stepping into now. Um, because it kind of, I guess it goes along this idea of time is an illusion, right? We've taught like it takes X amount of years to do this, X amount of time to accomplish that, X amount of time to be able to teach this or to be an expert at something, right? And really, time is a mental construct, right? It's a human construct. And your soul doesn't operate on time, it operates on alignment. And when you are able to embody that next level frequency now, you collapse time by removing that resistance. So what's happening is people are operating out of outdated and old beliefs and patterns, and so they are consistently creating that. But what happens when people quantum leap is they're consciously choosing a new version of themselves to step into and step into it now, right? So so on the outside it might look like, oh my gosh, this suddenly happened, but energetically on the inside you have been embodying that frequency, that energy, that belief without people even realizing it. So then how do you do that? How do you shift your frequency and embody that version of yourself that you are hoping to step into now? So a good place to start with this is just identify your current identity. Where are you at currently? And again, the whole aspect of the quantum leap and embodying that next level version of you, you have to have the awareness, the consciousness. So we start with the awareness, right? Ask yourself, am I thinking and acting from my future self or my past self? So where are you at on that? Um, with those two things, right? Because again, awareness is the first step to shifting, changing, right? Because you can't create change unless you're aware that you want to create the change, right? So, number two, feel it before you see it. So, embodiment practices like visualizations, moving, breathing as that version of you who already is living in that next level. So, what this does, it allows your nervous system to get used to feeling safe, to holding the desire that you would like. For example, a lot of the examples that I see are people who are wanting to manifest X amount of money, right? They want this huge amount of money, um, but their current self is used to holding a certain amount of money, right? Maybe it's $50,000 a year or whatever it is, right? And if they're wanting to manifest or step into the version of themselves that can hold $1 million a year, that might not feel safe to your nervous system. Your nervous system might feel dysregulated. It might, again, those subconscious beliefs might come up and kind of deter you from taking that, or you might be able to manifest that, but then it'll be taken away because you haven't acclimated to holding that frequency. Um, so, and that's why we hear a lot of people talking about, the tapping, the guided visualizations, the affirmations, all the things to help us move and feel and visualize and breathe that next level self in this current moment. Um, so, practice some of those embodied practices like the meditations, the visualizations, affirmations, whatever it is that dressing like your future self. Um, Whatever you think is gonna help you, or maybe do all of um, and then kind of check in. So number 3 is check in with yourself daily and notice and become aware of the choices that you're making. Am I making choices from my alignment, from living in truth with who I am and embodying that next level expansive version of me? Or am I still making choices out of fear? And when you do, you're holding the awareness in this current moment. When you notice, oh, I'm acting out of alignment, or I'm acting out of fear right now, or I'm scared, or whatever it is, you can then consciously choose to redirect your energy elsewhere. So for me, a long time ago when I was first starting, I wouldn't even say I was starting my healing journey. I was just trying to create change in my life because I was so miserable in college. But I was trying to rewrite my limiting beliefs because I noticed my self talk was so negative. Um, and before that, I wasn't even aware that it was. I was just so used to it playing. And right. So once I became aware, again, I had the awareness. Whenever it would come up, I would notice it and say, whoa, that was really mean thing I said about myself. Right. And then actively choose in that moment to um, focus my energy and intention in creating a new reality for myself. So if the negative idea or belief was, oh my gosh, your outfit sucked today. It was so ugly. Like that's how I used to talk to myself. I would say, you know what, um, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity and the finances to be able to afford clothes. And I love the way that it feels, to be able to choose what I want to wear and you look beautiful or whatever it was. And, at first it might feel really contrived and unnatural, and it does. But with more repetition and more instances of that, you're basically training your mind and your body to follow suit, and your energy will follow, your feelings will follow, right? And then next step, number 4, detach from the timeline. So when we obsess about when is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Oh my gosh, this much time has passed and it's still not here, right? that's creating that friction, that resistance, um, and blocks as opposed to trust, faith, and surrender, right? In the divine timing of things. In That's an active alignment is like knowing your desire is on its way and surrendering, doing obviously as much as you can in your own actions, and what you can do in this physical human vessel, and body, and then surrender the rest to God, right? So for this, I know it can be tricky for people because it doesn't show up at a certain time, or maybe some time has passed and you start second guessing yourself and thinking it's not working, or this was silly, I'm stupid for believing this. All those, again, those those thoughts come up, those beliefs, the worry, the doubt, the fear. And that's when I would check in with, you know, the previous step, which is noticing those old patterns come up because they're trying to keep you safe. That's your nervous system reacting and wanting you to stay the same. Um, and then again, consciously and with intention and choice, rewriting those, reframing those, embodying a new way of being for yourself. And for some people, this might feel super resistant. You're like trying to say the affirmations, do all the things, but deep down you still hold this belief that it's not going to happen. And where is it? It's not happening. So a trick that I know, I guess it's not a trick, but what I know to do based on past instances where I've had these huge leaps or have had miracles happen, gratitude in this instance always helps for surrendering and having the faith. Because when you can, release the worry about when it's going to happen, where is it, da da da, all this stuff, and shift your attention and frequency to gratitude, that's going to allow the flow and the release for you to um, receive whatever is coming in your life. So, for example, for me, a huge one, and I might have I use this example all the time, was when my daughter was in the hospital. I had the intention, I had the desire in my heart for her to return to full health. And it was such a constant battle back and forth because here are the doctors, they're saying now this might be a problem. This might be a problem. She might have this. She might not be able to see. She'll be blind. She has a brain bleed. All these things throughout the roller coaster of being in the hospital. And each time I would notice, again, the awareness came up of, I'm having this fear, I'm having this doubt, I'm having, what if it never happens? Although I consciously chose to release those, hold the attention and intention of her being in full health in my mind's eye, and showing gratitude in the present moment. And it would look like, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so grateful I'm your mom. I'm so happy you're getting stronger every day. I love you so much. You're perfect the way you are. All the things that I truly believed, even without having the desire in that moment. Right. So that was able to shift my energy so then I could align with the outcome that I did want. Because the outcome of my daughter being in perfect health, the version of me would be so grateful, right? So I needed to practice that gratitude now. Um, and the present version of me that had a daughter in perfect health would be happy, would be content with all these things. And gratitude allows me to anchor those energies in now, even when you're experiencing something so difficult. And this works with any resistance, right? It doesn't have to be as um, huge as having, someone's in the hospital or a near death thing, but it's just so powerful. Like gratitude is such a huge tool in your tool belt to help you with this. And then the next step, number 5, is take aligned action. So, don't hustle and be like, I have to do this, and um, grind away and be like for me, this looks like when I was first starting my business, I have to like, do all these things that people are telling me, hammer them out and work all night. And I still had this like inner belief that I had to prove myself or that work had to be hard. And instead of operating from that hustle based action, move towards more intentional, soul led, intuitive moves. So it's not that you're not taking any action, it's just that you're taking aligned action and purposeful action that you have intuited or have downloaded or listened to yourself on a deeper level instead of just zooming past and grinding past and doing all this productive or all this product I wouldn't even say productive work, all this work without it being purposeful and productive for what's right for you and your soul. So, a good question to ask is like, what would the version of me or my higher self or my future self, whatever you want to say, my next level self, my glow up self, whatever. There's so many words for it now. Um, what would that future version of me do today? Or to start thinking from that identity of your future self and see what they would say about how you would use your time in the current present moment. And then do that, right? Even if it's a small step, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it's uncomfortable. Um, and sometimes we do this and the step doesn't quite make sense to us. I know I've had that happen, but that is usually an indicator, and I know now that I'm on the right path. Because if it doesn't make sense and it's so new that it's scary, that means you're in uncharted territory. You're creating something new. You're not operating out of past beliefs anymore. Because if it's something that you're recreating from the past, it's going to be very familiar, like comfortable, eerily comfortable, right? And you're not really expanding and growing in that way. But if you know it's aligned, it feels a little scary, it's unknown how this is going to progress, that's a great sign that you're on the right path. Um, so yeah, I feel like this is, that's what quantum leaps are not, what they are, and how you can um, have them happen in your life. And I know for me, this, you know, certain things come up that then will you have the choice. And a lot of the times I'm very aware. You're gonna do this so much, you're gonna become aware, like, oh my gosh, this is a moment where I get to choose. Because there's always and it happens, maybe once, twice. For me, it's usually there's one very specific instance I know, whoa, this is my opportunity. This is the portal for me to make a choice to move in a new embodied way. And then after that, something just shifts right away. Like I've had this happen just within this year twice already, like big shifts where I knew the old me would have acted a certain way. And I consciously and with awareness chose a different embodied way of moving and in alignment. And within a few hours, huge opportunities, huge change happened because again, it's a quantum leap into that version of me, that next level expansive version of me now. And so I will, leave you with that. Just go ahead and try it and see. I know we've all experienced this to some degree or other. And um, just the conscious action of it and being able to use it in your favor is going to bring so much of your desires into this world. But just some final, closing prompts and journaling things. I know people like journaling questions are what frequency have you been operating from lately? Where am I trying to rush or prove my way into alignment? And who is the version of me that I need to embody now? And what does she know that I have not been honoring currently and that I need to start embodying now? How can I do that? What do I need to shift or change or feel in order to bring that future aspect of myself into the present moment? Um, but yeah, again, a quantum leap doesn't have to mean you push harder. It happens because you're aligning with your truth, becoming aware, and making conscious small actions and decisions in the present moment, in your um, the present moment where you hold your most power. to actively and consciously create that reality for yourself. So, um, let me know if you have any questions. DM me if you need help with this. I do help my clients, my coaching clients with this, and it's so much fun to see the transformation, the change. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll talk to you guys later. And till next time,